it's okay to have seasonal items. And that's actually one of the things that I kept messing up. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Today's video is going to be 10 things that I own a lot of. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Woo! Okay, so I have my little notes here. Number 1, makeup brushes. I know you guys have seen my makeup declutter and I did get rid of quite a lot of brushes, but I still do have some brushes and I'm quite okay with having multiple brushes. I do use my fingers more now than I ever did before, but sometimes I just like having the choice of being able to use like a blush brush or an eyeshadow brush. The different sizes of brushes makes it easier to be able to like get right in there and kind of finesse and make my final makeup look really good. So I just don't feel like sacrificing having a certain number of makeup brushes just for the minimalism principle, especially because makeup is something that I have already decided is important to me and something that makes me happy, so I'm perfectly okay with having multiple brushes. Kind of illustrate my point, I'll have 2 brushes here that I can show you the different in sizes. I could use this as a blush brush, even though this is the blush brush, but I find that this is a lot more enjoyable and easier to use than to try to make this a Swiss Army knife of everything. So maybe in the future I might, who knows, I'm not saying that I won't, but currently this is what I'm enjoying, so I do have multiple makeup brushes. Number 2, eyeshadows. Again, this ties in with the first point. I am a makeup lover, so I do have multiple singlets, and I have one eyeshadow palette that in my makeup video of declutter I was supposed to get rid of, but I'm still holding on to because I have problems letting go, especially things that I'm really attached to, and makeup is one of them. But currently I do have multiple eyeshadows because I like to kind of smoky out my eye, or sometimes go for like a pink, sometimes go for like a corally look. So I do really enjoy dressing up my face because I have like a very minimal wardrobe. I wear a lot of beiges and creams, so there's not much variety in color going on with my clothes. So I have a lot of fun doing it with my eyeshadow. Shadows, actually I'm going to show you guys the palette that I supposedly was supposed to declutter, but did not happen. So there we go. Those are all the eyeshadows and they're definitely more than just one. Number 3, BB cushions. If you guys watched that declutter video, you guys know that I did get rid of one of my cushions, but that isn't to say that I don't mind having multiple cushions. I have owned multiple cushions in the past. I'm perfectly okay with it, especially if they're different formulations or if it's a different brand. Sometimes I have like a lighter shade and a darker shade for winter. I wanted to include that and say that I'm perfectly okay with having multiple BB cushions. Alright, number 4, a white shirt. So I own multiple white shirts. I think I've never counted them because I'm not into counting my stuff. I think that's not very good minimalism behavior. It can get very neurotic. But if I had to take a guess, I'd probably say maybe like 7, maybe 8 white shirts. They have like different styles. Some are a bit more oversized, some are a bit more fitted, some have like little detailing, like a little stitch here or something. But for the most part, they're more or less basic white tees. I guess I could have less, but I do enjoy having a fresh shirt every day that I change. I don't really want to be hand washing them or pushing to do laundry as often, so I'm okay with having like a surplus of white shirts and it really doesn't bother me. Alright, number 5, pens. I own multiple pens. So I have a red pen and I have a blue pen, but I can't find where the blue pen is. But I'm really okay with having multiple pens. I use my blue pen for writing down my notes, and then I use my red pen for making special notes or like making a mark or like striking things out. I know that a lot of minimalists just use like the one pen, and I totally respect that. There was a period of time when I did use the one pen, but I felt like sometimes I needed like a different color to emphasize things and I couldn't because I had the one pen. I suppose I could get like the dual pen where it's got like 2-in-1, 3-in-1, but yeah, that is an area I could explore in the future, but currently I own multiple pens. Number 6, wallets. If you guys have watched my minimal wallet collection, I own, I think like, what is it, like 4 wallets or something like that, and like they're different types. I have like a long wallet, I have my Sally wallet, let me show you guys. I have like my Sally wallet, and then I have like my actual like legit wallet and YSL wallet. And I'm perfectly okay with having multiple wallets. I know that a lot of minimalists, these are like areas where a lot of them are very like tight on. They just have like the one wallet, the one coin purse. But I find for myself, in areas that I'm very happy with, I don't mind having a surplus. I was actually going to declutter this, but I've owned it for so long now that I kind of grew attached to it. And although it's childish, I don't mind having it. I think that I like it now. And I feel like, isn't that the KonMari principle? If it sparks joy, isn't that the only requirement? Sometimes I want different aesthetics. Sometimes I want to go for like a very mature aesthetic, so I go with this bag. Sometimes I feel like I just want something small and light, so I just go with this one. And that kind of changing up is just very enjoyable. I'm sure in the future I'll probably downsize and get rid of it, but currently I'm okay with having multiple wallets. Number 7, bags. If you guys have watched my bag collection, I have 3 bags. I have like the coach and all of that. And in Canada, I actually did leave behind like 1 or 2 bags, so in actuality I do own 5 bags, but I'm really okay with having multiple bags. I used to have way more bags in the past and I decluttered it down. They serve different functions. One of them is very large and sturdy, which I use for traveling, and then I have my fanny pack, which is like my daily bag. So I feel like I don't see the point in like condensing it down into one bag. I mean, I had tried that in the past and I found that it just didn't serve me. A bag that's big enough to travel is not a very comfortable daily bag, so I just feel like easy to store. They like flatten out and I just put it in my luggage. All right, number 8. Toothfloss and toiletries. I have multiples of toiletries. They're not stock ups, but they like serve different functions, so I guess in that sense I do have multiple things. So like aloe for my face, and I also have like rose gold water. They're both toiletries. I also have a lot of Toothfloss because I go through Toothfloss quite quickly, so I just like to have like 1 or 2 extra there, and I feel like that extra abundance makes me feel very cushioned and makes me feel very comfortable. When I used to be more like tight and not allow myself to have those things, I was constantly running out, so I just feel like having that little cushion is just much more enjoyable. All right, number 9, jackets. I think I own like 4 jackets, and I want to make a disclaimer. I live in very cold temperate places. I live in Canada and I live in China, north of China, and these places are really, really cold and they have very extreme weathers. Like the fall is like cool, but the winters are brutal. So a fall jacket and a winter jacket, they serve different functions. I know a lot of you might come from me and be like, well, you know what, you could just layer up with the winter jacket. The winter jackets, they're very, very heavy duty, and I would be sweating balls if I wore that in the fall. So I just made my peace with having multiple jackets for the different extreme temperatures, and I'm okay with that. And I actually got a lot of confirmation about this when I was reading Fumio Sasaki's book. He actually had one of the points about like the 1 in 1 out rule, and he was talking about you should definitely keep seasonal items. So this is coming from Fumio, who owns very little, was like, guys, let's just be practical here. It's okay to have seasonal items. And that's actually one of the things that I kept messing up and making my life so difficult in the beginning of my minimalism journey. I wanted everything to be like robotic and like a Swiss Army knife, and it had to fit all functions, but sometimes that's just not practical, and I'm just not about that with my minimalism journey anymore. I've reaped a lot of benefits from minimalism, but doing those kind of things is just not practical and just doesn't serve me, so I'm just not interested in doing that anymore. I'm not knocking this on other people who have managed to do it. I always admire when minimalists take it one step further and can make it work for their lives. All right, and number 10, 2 pairs of shoes. If you guys have seen my videos, I have the pink Adidas and I have the gray Yeezys, and I find that actually an area that I'm not interested in having multiples of. I think once I wear them out, whether the Yeezys or the Adidas get worn out, I'm probably just going to wear the other pair till they wear out, and then after that, I just don't think I'm going to replace having multiple shoes at the same time. I find that it's kind of unnecessary. I don't have other things that I use them for. Usually I just buy like sports runners, and then those become my daily shoes, so I run in them, and I also just wear them on the regular, and I'm quite happy with that medium. Keep it at that. Anyway, that is the end of my list. Those are 10 things that I own a lot of as a minimalist. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it has inspired you to maybe not declutter some of your things. I know in the minimalism community it's really fun to just go trigger happy, but sometimes we just need to like take a step back and be like, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to have a couple things. Anyway, thank you so much for having taken the time to watch, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!